Hi, loves. Hey. So, this is going to be my first video review for travel, and I had been mulling it over. I'm going to include this on my YouTube page that I'm starting. So, it's going on there. I'll be doing travel videos when I do them. And I have my whiteboard here as usual. Y'all can't see it, but I have some notes and insights that I'm going to share. This is for my recent trip to Hanoi, Vietnam, which is the capital city of Vietnam. And this was my first time going. My notes and whatnot are in no particular order. I'm just gonna speak, and then I have pictures and whatnot that I'll include after this. Maybe I'll do some narration with that as well. I don't know yet. But here goes the tea. Okay, so Hanoi, what did I like about it? Infrastructure. They have just enough infrastructure there to be dangerous. You can use Grab. Grab is like Uber for people who don't know what Grab is. Um, Grab tends to work differently in the cities that it is operating in. So Hanoi Grab was fantastic. I literally only had to wait like 30 seconds for each Grab that I took. There was never a wait, really. You just press the button and then ding, 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 your driver is here. That was great. It was super easy to get around. They do have a bus system there as well. I noticed that I didn't ride it because I wanted to just walk and be within walking distance of my hotel, and that's what I did, but they do. Um, some other things. I don't remember the names. I forgot to get my notes for the names, but they have this wonderful park with a lake in Hanoi that is like a good attraction just to go and see and walk around and get an idea. I'll link the name of that below and maybe find like a trip advisor for that. They also have the French Quarter, which I didn't make it to this time, but I probably will next time I go because I know I'm going back. And then of course you want to eat. It's Vietnam, like you trying to eat, trust. So very popular dishes are the Vietnamese pancake. I was on Coffee Row. They're known for their coffee. Like my hotel was on Coffee Row in Hanoi. Also they have this Vietnamese sandwich. I think it's pho. My pronunciation is probably wrong. I will link that below too if you want to know. And then for me though, my favorite food was the spring rolls. I effed those spring rolls up. I must have ate. I was only there for one full day. I did 2 nights in a day. It was a visa run. I ate 3 servings of spring rolls in 24 hours. I effed them spring rolls up. Those were the best. And I've had some good spring rolls, okay? Those were the best. Like, I'm here for them. I support the spring rolls. So if I had to make my own recommendation, I would say try the spring rolls. And the spring rolls are low key like, fried chicken in the black community. Everybody make their spring rolls a little differently, so you don't think it's all gonna be tasting uniform. It's not. I had 3 servings and they all tasted different. They were all good. I was like, oh my god, these spring rolls are the bomb. Try the spring rolls. Okay, so those were some of my highlights. Now, I will link the name. I'm sorry, I'm not being a good vlogger because I meant to grab my notes and I just totally forgot. There's a vegetarian restaurant that I ate at in Hanoi. It was really good. I really enjoyed the food there and I can recommend it. It was actually a vegan restaurant. They had a few vegan restaurants there. Oh, and speaking of food, if you live in Asia like I do, right? Sometimes Popeyes can be hard to find. Like KFC is everywhere, but Popeyes, because I don't really do KFC like that. They have Popeyes at the Hanoi Airport. So sometimes, like I've seen it a couple times the past 3 years now that I've been living overseas. When I see a Popeyes, I just go to it automatically because I might not get that again. Usually I eat Popeyes like once a year. I was eating it like maybe 3 times a year back in the States, but now it's like once a year here. I live for Popeyes. So if you are like me, they have Popeyes at the airport. Um, the food, a little bit more about the food. What can I say? This is in comparison to Chiang Mai. And is that bias? Maybe. I compare everything to Chiang Mai these days in terms of like this region in Southeast Asia. I'm a smoothie woman. I found a few smoothie spots, but it wasn't as smoothie-licious as Chiang Mai. As you know how they got smoothie spots on every corner here. You had to kind of look for them, but they were there. I think they have their cultural and like traditional staples on lock, but in terms of like the more touristy, kind of like broader international stuff, that type of cuisine, it's still in development in Hanoi. It's not even like I'm not saying it as a negative thing either. It's just a difference that I noticed. Okay. So just go there. Like if you know you have your staples relative to where you are, know that you might have to adjust to what's available to you. I'm gonna put it like that. Okay. Um, and if you're a coffee person, because they're known for their coffee was good, but I'm the type of person that doesn't like goop. Like I don't like a bunch of stuff on my food. I'm trying to edit myself, but I'll say it like this: I don't like a bunch of ish on top of my food. Just give me the base. I don't need all that ish. There's a little bit too much goopy, just a little bit, but the coffee was good. Okay, so if you're like me, and you're like, can you blend this? Like I don't want all this sitting on top. Yeah, you may have to contend with that depending on what type of coffee you get. I will link the coffee place that I ended up going to below as well because it's supposedly like one of the best in the city. So that was at my hotel experience. I stayed at Hanoi Air Hotel. It was super conveniently located. For me, the staff was the selling point. They were amazing. I got the best introduction ever to any place I've been to. The hostess asked me, "Is this my first time?" Yes, and she just gave me the rundown. She gave me all the tea. She gave me a list. I have the list and I'm keeping it with all the best places for this. And she was very detailed. What time do I recommend going at this time. Now the timing was off because the owners of the places, some of the places I went to, they had their own separate timing going on. You know how it is. Business hours aren't business hours here. People just do stuff when they want to do it. But she tried, right? She did. She was very good. The Hanoi Air Hotel, it was clean and conveniently located, and they had a good breakfast, pretty good breakfast. Um, I would give it out of 10 stars. Well, let me do five. Out of stars, I would give it a four. Really, because Hanoi is super noisy, and soundproofing is something that I've noticed throughout my travels in Southeast Asia that is just not the best. That combined with the noise, if you're a noise sensitive person, that's going to be a problem. I'm not particularly noise sensitive, but I am aware of it because I know a lot of people who are. So I would say if you're going to stay at that particular hotel, it's great because it's convenient. But you definitely want to maybe ask for the highest possible floor. I was on the second floor, which was very close to the street. Like I was hearing construction and garbage. It was a lot, right? And I slept through it because, like I said, I'm not particularly noise sensitive, but I know some people are, and I could even hear like downstairs in the kitchen. Like that's how the noise was there. Okay, so it was noisy. Bring earplugs. Definitely bring earplugs if you're noise sensitive. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking at my list here. Oh, let's talk about traveling while black. I never hear people talk about this in travel videos, and that's because most people who make travel videos are not of color, so it's not something for them to consider. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10 for this, in terms of like the discomfort, at times it was a 7. 7 meaning people were staring just a little too long. You know, when you feel it and it's like, okay, you need to stop. You start to feel like, okay, I understand I'm different, but you need to stop. I experienced that a bit. And it wasn't necessarily with the locals as much as it was with the other tourists from other countries who just, it is what it is. So I'm telling you that because sometimes I feel like traveling while black, we don't talk about these things. And it's good to know that you might run into this, okay? The locals themselves were sweet, very friendly, and they joked with me a lot. They were lovely, lovely people. So I didn't really experience it as much from them. Did I get negative commentary? I did, but I have some very particular, specific bad karma going on too that I've been clearing. People just don't say the kindest things about me. It is what it is. For me, that particular thing was lesser here. It was. I think part of that has to do with me switching up my energy though. But I also think that the people in Vietnam are lighter, if that makes sense. They don't have as much as like even in Thailand, people can be a bit pretentious. They're not pretentious in Vietnam. You understand what I mean? Like it's lighter. So I'm just telling you that, okay? Because colorism and all that stuff exists, and racism and stupidity exists. It does. So overall, 7 out of 10, right? Just for comfort. Also, other black folks. I did run into a few other black folks while I was there, and the experience was mixed. Traveling while black, it can depend on the nationality of the black person. Some tend to be more friendly, some more guarded and reserved. But I have learned over time to not be so guarded because I was at first too. Like if I don't get a hello, I'll say it again. Hello. Yes. Don't act like you ain't see me. Don't give me the six-headed stare because I got that the first time with one lady. I was like, ma'am, I'm just saying hello. You're black, I'm black, that's all. Just hello. So yeah, it was low-key mixed. Yeah. All right. What else do I want to tell y'all? This is my overall. Let's just do overall. Loved it. It has officially become my favorite visa run place. And when I do visa runs, I'll go there. It was affordable. I was able to get a direct flight from Chiang Mai to Hanoi, which is something I also wanted. I didn't want to have to travel through Bangkok. So that's a tip. If you just want to go direct, it took about 2.5 hours the actual flight. My flight time changed like 3 times, as FYI. They might say on the website one thing, and then when you get there, it's a completely different time. I had that coming and going. The other thing is, too, some of you might be wondering if you're in Chiang Mai, how do you get currency? Because you are going to need US currency. Go to the Bangkok Bank's branch, specifically at KSK. The smallest amount of currency you can take out of there is $100 US, okay? I think it came to like 3,200 baht or something with the fee, because you're gonna need that to give them the visa. I saw one ATM at the airport before I made it to the other side on to where immigration is. If you are going to the Hanoi Airport, there's a separate line for the visa, so you need to look for that first. It wasn't apparently obvious to me. I actually went to the actual immigration patrol line first by mistake because I was just, oh, there goes a line, let me get in it, right? I had to go back behind me and go to the visa place. So be looking for that. It took about 30 minutes less than 30 minutes to get my visa because I had everything filled out. I definitely fill your stuff out before you go. Have your picture and stuff ready already so you don't have to go there. You could just give them the paper and be like, here, you can get your pictures done before. And also for the application, because sometimes this can be a bit confusing too when you're filling out these different applications. It was confusing. I know I didn't fill that thing out correctly, but what I did was I wrote neatly and I filled it out to the best of my ability and I gave it to them and they processed it. All they needed was my official letter because you have to have a separate letter. They needed my letter and they needed my where I was staying. I could tell, when you've been doing this long enough, you know what they're actually looking for. So don't trip too hard about it. Just fill it out neatly and fill it out completely to the best of your ability. That's my suggestion. And it took about 30 minutes for me to get through the line in immigration. Like it really was a relatively short line. They kept it moving. You weren't standing there for long periods of time. The Hanoi Airport is about 40 minutes outside of, I should say, away from where I stayed. On Coffee Row, if you want to call it that. My Grab ride from Hanoi Airport to my hotel was $13. Okay. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I want to say. I loved it. I'm looking forward to going to Saigon. I'm looking forward to going to Hoan and Da Nang, and I'm sure I'll be doing more videos. Let me know if you guys like this video, if it's helpful. I tried to give you guys a little bit different insight from what I see in typical travel videos, and yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to put the pictures and everything in here now so you can see, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in another travel video. Bye.